Welcome to the 50th episode of Hunt Camp Mail. I started this thing in August of 2020, and I can't believe I continued it for every single month for over 4 years. Originally, I only intended to do this Hunt Camp Mail thing for maybe a few episodes, maybe to the end of that year, but I just kept going with it. Let me give you a little backstory on Hunt Camp Mail. On my old channel, I had a P.O. box that allowed viewers to send me mail or bottles of alcohol or refrigerator magnets. But that channel was demonetized and eliminated by YouTube when they were, going through that censorship phase that they were going through, and kind of reinvented Desert Dog Outdoors in what you see today on this channel. And viewers didn't have that access to that P.O. box anymore because I canceled it. So viewers wanted a way to get in touch with me personally. So I created a Gmail account and the mail just started rolling in. With snail mail, I was maybe getting 2 or 3 letters a month. And all of a sudden, today with the Gmail account, I'm getting 50 or more emails every month to respond to. And I thought to myself, what if I answered some of these email letters in a dedicated video every month? And I wanted Hunt Camp Mail to provide an experience like you and I were just having a normal conversation. And that was how Hunt Camp Mail started. As I indicated in last month's episode, for this 50th episode special, I will only be answering Hunt Camp Mail related questions. So let's get this month's mail started. Our first question for the month is from Ryan in Ohio. Ryan wrote, "I've followed you for 3 years on YouTube, and you don't seem like an emotional man at all. Have your viewers ever sent you letters that made you get emotional?" Absolutely. I've received many personal emails over the years that I didn't share on Hunt Camp Mail that just really brought out my rarely seen emotional side. But out of all of the letters I've read on Hunt Camp Mail, that letter from the grieving father who just lost his child, where he wanted advice from me on coping with the death of a child, that letter, I think, really impacted me. And I think I read that letter about a year after my own son was killed in Montana. And let me tell you, that was rough. Also, I read another letter from a guy who suffered a serious injury and was basically told that he would never walk again. And he said he watched my videos constantly and it gave him motivation to fight to try to get out of bed and try to walk so he can start hunting and fishing again. And he ended up hunting within a year. If that doesn't choke you up, I don't know what will. But we definitely had some emotional moments on Hunt Camp Mail over the years. The night after my son died, I was on the phone with people who needed organ transplants. But everyone thinks that the main challenge of being a father is raising kids. But what I know, and what you now know, Steve, is that the biggest challenge for a father is guiding your family through a time of crisis. And I sincerely hope that none of you out there have to deal with this. And our next letter is from Phil from Gardnerville, Nevada. And I hope they fixed the 395 south of there. I was fishing all the way up to 395 a couple of weeks ago. And, the 395 shut down over there and couldn't get all the way up to Reno. But Phil wrote, "Desert Dog, do some of your letters for Hunt Camp Mail give you ideas for future videos? I thought about starting a YouTube channel for one of my hobbies, but I can't generate any unique ideas. How much does Hunt Camp Mail letters supply you with video ideas?" Honestly, probably about 90% of the video ideas that I have are just things that come to me while I'm hunting, fishing, reloading, or just going about my daily life. As a lot of my older viewers know, I don't take video requests, even though people find it necessary to constantly make requests and maybe post the same thing in every single one of my videos. But I don't generally take requests. I only do videos about things that interest me personally or are about a subject or a product that I'm very knowledgeable about. I don't review products that I haven't used, and I don't make videos on unfamiliar topics. So to all the little homies out there that want me to review their Savage Axis 2, I've never owned one, and I have no desire to own one. So you won't be seeing a Desert Dog video on that anytime soon. But there are times when a viewer's letter to Hunt Camp Mail does inspire me to make a video, like that trauma kit video that I released this year. Sometimes, like with the barrel cooler video that I did, a viewer will pass on an idea to me through Hunt Camp Mail. It'll perk my interest, and I'll just run with it. And our next letter is from Mike in Meridian, Idaho. Mike wrote, "Your Hunt Camp Mail thumbnails are the best thumbnails I've ever seen on YouTube. I know when a holiday is coming up, I can expect a holiday thumbnail. My favorites are the leprechauns hunting every March. I'm a short guy, and everyone calls me a leprechaun, so I relate to those thumbnails. I also like the game animals delivering mail to your mailbox. Thank you for being the best channel on YouTube." And thank you for the kind words, Mike. And I'm really glad you enjoy the thumbnails. I do put a lot of work into them. On some of them, maybe I spend too much time on them. But some of those Hunt Camp Mail thumbnails are my favorites too. I do my best to provide my viewers with a quality experience, and I think that includes good thumbnails. Because you like my Hunt Camp Mail thumbnails so much, instead of doing memes at the end of the mail segment of this video like I usually do for Hunt Camp Mail, this time I'll show the thumbnails from every Hunt Camp Mail video ever made. And our next letter is from Max from South Africa. Max wrote, "Some other hunters I watch copied your Hunt Camp Mail and now do similar videos. I believe it is great and allows us to know the hunter better. Your Hunt Camp Mail is the best because you are not afraid of controversial topics. When somebody sends you a letter about long distance hunting, you are not afraid to question their ethics. When the other hunters get the same letter, they act like cowards and use experience as a justification. This is why you have such a large international audience. I hope you do these videos for many more years." Well, thank you, Max. And, thank you for the kind compliment. And I think that what you see on Hunt Camp Mail is the real me in real life. I really don't shy away from confrontation, especially when it comes to hunting ethics. I have no sponsors or corporate affiliates to please, so I'm pretty much free to say what I want, and that's the way I like it. And our next letter is from Justin from Grand Prairie, Texas. And I used to spend a lot of time in Grand Prairie when I was employed by my former employer. And Justin wrote, "My favorite Hunt Camp Mail letters were the ones from anti-hunters and communists. You have a gift for handling anti-hunters in a way that separates you from the rest. You haven't read any letters from them in a long time. Do you ignore them now?" No, Justin, I'm not ignoring the anti-hunters at all. Honestly, they've really been leaving me alone for the last couple of years. They've probably moved on to calling everyone racists and transphobes now. Leftists are always moving on to the new cause when the old one gets boring or old. My problem now actually is from other hunters and anglers. I used to think that the lefties were the sniveling, sensitive guys who got offended over everything. But after running this channel for years, I now realize that people on the right are just as bad and sometimes even worse. I still get chastised occasionally, but not for shooting deer or for catching fish. I get reported or told off by offended conservatives for saying bad words or drinking during hunt camp meal or showing the likeness of the Virgin Mary in a thumbnail or for posting a sexually suggestive meme or for having Halloween decorations on my set. These days, people on the far right are pretty much the sensitive ones that get offended over everything and want to report me. Our next letter is from Frank from Corona, California. Frank wrote, "The best part about hunt camp mail is the bullshit button." Like that, huh? Nobody else in the hunting world has the balls to tell a viewer when they are full of shit. You have no idea how refreshing it is to see a popular figure in the hunting world do this. I almost stand up and cheer when you press that button. Most of the time, I'm anticipating it before it even happens. Thank you, and please keep Hunt Camp Mail going. Well, thank you for the letter, Frank. And I really wouldn't call myself a popular figure. But, this channel is just a tiny grain of sand in a massive desert of hunting media. Matter of fact, 99% of hunters out there have probably never even heard of me. I have a day job running a business, so I really don't need income from media or products. Because of this, I really don't take on any sponsors, or at least I haven't been courted by sponsors that meet my criteria. If I did have sponsors, though, they probably wouldn't like the bullshit button a lot, would they? But trust me, a lot of my viewers comment that they hate the bullshit button and they find it very offensive. But this goes back to my previous letter where I explain how conservatives are just as sensitive as liberals. Because you like the BS button so much, I put together a montage for you to enjoy. And I'm using the bullshit button on this one. I'm going to have to use the bullshit button on this one. You, my friend, get the button. This is for you, buddy.
How dare you!
Here you go. That's definitely Hollywood bullshit. Well, I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't want to do it this month, but you're getting the button. Sorry, Pete. You get this channel's first ever Triple Bullshit Award. Here you go, buddy. Bullshit! 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 Bullshit!
Hey everybody, this guy just won the Triple Bullshit Award. Congratulations.
Tim, you're full of BS. Brad, for continuing to spread this wives' tale and for being a generally unpleasant human being, you're getting the BS button. Merry Christmas, William. I'm not even going to attempt to answer this one. But for the first time in Hunt Camp Mail history, I'm giving myself the BS button. I might even give myself the bullshit button. And our next letter is from John from Newark, Ohio. What is the worst letter you ever got for Hunt Camp Mail? And what was the best letter? Well, the best letter was when I opened an email titled "My Wife's First Buck." And when I opened that email, it included a picture of his wife holding a bow over a really beautiful buck. But she kind of proved that camo isn't necessary to hunt deer because it turns out she hunts topless. That's pretty much as old school as it gets. But on the bad letters, back when the anti-hunters cared enough about me to send me hate mail, I received some horrible mail back then. They would belittle my family, and some of those letters even involved threats. Just radical leftists are some seriously screwed up people. But after 2 years of blocking them from email and hiding trolls from commenting on my videos, I finally got rid of the rabid anti-hunters for the most part. And even if I didn't, honestly, I think a lot of them just moved on to the next popular cause. But one email in particular strikes me as probably the worst I've ever gotten. Even though it did give me a pretty good chuckle. I was sent a dick pic. So let's take a walk down memory lane. Yeah, I'm not going to leave that behind. You heard that right. Someone was kind enough to send me a picture of a huge dong. If that's a real picture, congratulations, man. You were blessed with a third leg. But if I may, I'd like to give you a little suggestion. Groom that area, man. You look like a coyote with mange. And our next letter is from Clayton from Missouri. Clayton wrote, I've wrote you a few times, but only one of my mails made it to Hunt Camp Mail. I assume that you get a great deal of mail and have to make picks. How do you choose which letters to include in Hunt Camp Mail? Well, my selection process is kind of based off of my interest, the relevance of the letter, my knowledge of the letter, and how how original the letter is. A question or letter has to be interesting to me in some way. Even criticisms or BS letters are often very interesting, so I'll include them in Hunt Camp Mail. But repeatedly being asked about the Tikka T3X isn't very interesting to me. A letter also needs to be relevant, I feel. And if you ask me what my favorite color is, I'll probably write you back and tell you what it is, but I'm not going to include that on Hunt Camp Mail. I also need to be knowledgeable on the subject, I feel. If you ask me about something like European drilling guns, I'm not very knowledgeable on the subject, so I'm probably going to recommend another source of information to you. Also, after 4 years of doing Hunt Camp Mail, almost every topic has already been covered. And I'm serious about that. It's like The Simpsons. We've done everything. For about half of the letters I receive these days, I end up giving people a link to a past episode of Hunt Camp Mail so they can get the answer off of that. So a letter, there's exceptions to this, but a letter normally needs to be original to make it to Hunt Camp Mail. And our next letter is from Henry in Anchorage, Alaska. Henry wrote, I remember when you had a couple of stalkers on your channel and you brought it up in Hunt Camp Mail. Whatever happened to those guys? I think the first stalker was actually pretty harmless and was just a really weird, socially awkward person. I kind of told him to back off because, he was coming across very badly. And I shut him out, and that guy got the point and left me alone. When you close your paragraph with, I know you might think I'm a stalker. And this one right here, don't be afraid. Give you a little backstory. This guy was emailing me like 4 or 5 times a day. He wanted my address. He wanted my phone number. He wanted to meet up. He wanted to come to my house so I can teach him how to reload. He just kept on. So I ended up blocking his email. And I didn't hear from him for about a month. And then I guess he got a new email address and started the same thing over with a new email. And he was pissed off at me for blocking his old email. So I had to block that too. So he finally started posting stuff like this in my videos, demanding my phone number and address. And I had to hide him from my channel. So I guess I have a stalker. The second stalker, though, was a serious threat, in my opinion. He was constantly bothering me and used image lookups engines and other software to try to find my personal information. and find me. Then I made a really bad mistake in one of my videos. I had a video where I was returning home and I was at the airport with an ice chest full of meat, and we accidentally panned the camera quickly across the top of the ice chest where my name and address was on the top of it. And he actually froze that small frame and found out where I lived. Unfortunately, over the course of the last couple months, I also acquired another stalker. And I mean a real certified stalker this time, not just kind of a socially awkward guy. This was a legitimate stalker this time, and I had to cut him off from all my media, and he kept finding a way to get through to me. And he even found my home address and insisted multiple times that he was going to come over my house. And let's just say I had to convince him that doing so was bad for his health. But be careful on social media these days. There's a lot of crazy people out there. After he found out where I lived, he actually took a screenshot of my address and said he was going to stop by that weekend to talk to me about life because he thought he was spiritually and intimately connected to my soul. But I had to let him know that it was his soul that was going to leave his body if he showed up at my home. But I basically gathered all of our correspondence and I reported the incident to the local authorities, but they've never ever given me an update on the case, and they stopped returning my calls. So my advice to you is always own a gun because you are truly on your own when it comes to your safety. And our next letter is from William in Australia. William wrote, I've been watching you for a year and love the Hunt Camp Mail vids. It would be interesting to see Hunt Camp Mail filmed outdoors in hunting locations. Perhaps film one in Oz. I think I've been asked this before too. And I've done a few episodes in the past in actual Hunt Camp Mail locations out in the field. But I hated doing long format videos like that outside because the wind noise made the audio just so bad on those sessions. And it just seems like anytime I set up a camera and decide to film outside, the wind starts blowing really hard and ruins it. But William, the next time I'm in Oz, I'll film one there just for you. And our next letter is from Charles from Vermont. Charles wrote, I've been watching since the beginning and haven't seen any bad content in any Hunt Camp Mail episodes. But maybe there is something you felt embarrassed about. Did you ever do something on Hunt Camp Mail where you wish you could go back and delete the video? Yeah, actually, yes. A few years ago, I couldn't shave for a while because I lost a football bet. My 49ers let me down. And my whole face just filled up with this scraggly white beard. And I was forced to do an episode of Hunt Camp Mail during that time. And after I did that episode of Hunt Camp Mail, for the next month or two, fans of the channel started calling me Papa Hemingway. One young fan of the channel still calls me Papa every time we communicate today. And our next letter is from Donald from Sacramento, California. Donald wrote, my favorite Hunt Camp Mail videos are the Christmas specials. Your speeches at the end of those videos are from the heart and always provide much needed optimism for the coming year. I actually fill up a glass and toast with you when I watch those videos every December. What a great letter. I think hundreds or maybe even thousands of us are doing that year-end toast at the same time. With my final words of the year, I always try to reinforce being thankful for what we have. We get so caught up in politics, drama, money, and resent that we often forget what really matters in life. I'd like to end this year by saying happy holidays and good health to you and your families. Salud. To health, happiness, and a brighter future. to tight lines and a full freezer, to memorable days in the field and on the water, and to all of those we've lost and will be reunited with again one day. Cheers. To health, happiness, and success at attaining your goals. To family, friends, and even your loyal pets. To epic hunts and memorable days on the water. And to the Desert Dog Outdoors family, which you are all a part of. Cheers, salute, and prost. And our next letter is from Rowan from Brisbane, Australia. Rowan wrote, "Where is Swamp Doggie? I miss that guy." I guess he's got a fan club in Australia too. Swamp Doggie is probably up to his usual antics of hunting out of season, poaching at night, and kind of keeping it in the family, if you know what I mean. But for the newer viewers to my channel, here's some past highlights of my cousin, Swamp Doggie. All dear the same. You want him? Go to the store, get yourself about 20 can of corn, then get out on the dirt road nobody use. Private road's the best. Then pour that corn out all over the road just before the sun goes down. Do this for 3 days. 3 days. Then go out there at night with a big old light and, deer easy to get. Damn, boy, you don't even got to leave the truck. You know what I mean? Tony Baloney. I got one thing to say, brother. Pity vipers. Get you some pitties, and them birds, deer, and pussy be flowing like a goddamn faucet. I could see Jesus with these things, man. Ain't no future bright if you ain't hunt at night, gay Reed. Let me show you how old Swamp Doggie do the pirogue hunting. Hear me floating around after shoot a 10-point buck, man. I fill up that pirogue with a couple 100-pound of deer boudin. Hell, I put the pea in the pirogue, man. You know what, Rowan? Since this is the 50th episode special, I'm going to get Swamp Doggie on video chat and let him know that you're asking about him. Hold on a minute. Hey, Swampy, this is your favorite cousin, Desert Dog.
What's up, cuz? What you want, Desert Dog?
Hey, I'm doing a Hunt Camp Mail 50th episode special, and I have a viewer from Australia that wants to know how you're doing.
Australia? Huh? Australia? I got a joke for you, Desert Dog. I got a joke for you, okay? I got a joke for you here. Listen up here. What difference between Australia kiss and French kiss? What different? Australia kiss is just like French kiss, but down under.
Oh, no. Sorry, guys, I had to cut Swamp Doggie off because he might get me banned from YouTube if he keeps going. And our next letter is from Joseph from Colorado Springs. Joseph wrote, "It is funny that I'm writing you on your 50th episode because I started watching your channel when you did your first episode. Other hunting influencers started doing their copy of your Hunt Camp Mail down to the detail of using a desk with animal skin on it. But they still seem to get a great deal of dislike. Everyone who watches Hunt Camp Mail seems to like it, except those who get the BS button. How is it that you connect so well with your audience, where others fail to do so?" Well, I don't know if other influencers fail to connect with their audience. I think if people watch them regularly and subscribe, they probably do connect with them, at least on some level. But, first of all, I want to state that those other guys have a very large and successful media presence that involves corporate support and, to a certain extent, celebrity status too. And I hate to say this, but success does bring out the haters. Jealousy is a cancer that consumes people, and a lot of critics are simply jealous of those guys for being successful, and I think that's the truth. But the focus on me, I just try to be an authentic person. I'm not going to alter myself to meet the expectations of any person or company. People quickly realize what they get with me, and either you run away or you embrace me. But I will never let you down by being inconsistent as a person. I'm sitting here today celebrating the 50th episode of a show that only gets 4,000 views. Why do I do that? Because those 4,000 people look forward to it every month. It doesn't make me money or bring me fame. It's just a group of guys communicating with each other about hunting and life. And that's my connection with my audience. And our next letter is from Toby from Arizona. Toby wrote, Hunt Camp Mail is a show where you get the correct answer for anything hunting and fishing related. Even your answers about life, death, and politics are spot on. You are literally an expert on everything. It's amazing, and I wish there were more of you. How do you know so much about everything? I'm definitely 100% not an expert on everything. I'm not even an expert on most things. It only seems that way because I apply logic to everything. And that makes sense to people who use their brains. In reality, I make mistakes just like everyone else. If I were to look at myself, I'd say I'm like a human 30-06 cartridge. Great at almost everything, but perfect at nothing in particular. If you pay close attention to Hunt Camp Mail, you'll realize that I usually don't answer my viewers' questions directly. I usually provide enough information to them so they can make up their own minds. Sometimes viewers tend to confuse themselves by overcomplicating things, and I help them unravel their mess. Other times viewers already know what they want, and I just provide commentary. So in a sense, I'm more of an outdoor counselor than an expert on anything. And our next letter is from Tom in Minnesota. Tom wrote, I remember your first episode of Hunt Camp Mail where you had a studio fixed up to look like an Africa hunting lodge. I like where you settled your studio for Hunt Camp Mail and most of your episodes. Every time I see you at that desk with books, knives, and things behind you, it's almost like I'm sitting down with an old trusted friend. Everything about Hunt Camp Mail falls right into my comfort zone. Well, thank you for the compliment and the kind letter. Going back to that first episode, yeah, I probably tried too hard on that first episode to set some type of hunting camp ambience. If you remember too, I tried to do Hunt Camp Mail in other spots too, and I just didn't like it. Nothing feels as correct as doing it right here. And you're right. This is like a big comfort zone for all of us. And our next letter is from Stephen from Reno, Nevada. Stephen wrote, have you ever thought about making Hunt Camp Mail a podcast? Yeah, Stephen, I actually have, but as you know, you can listen to any of my videos in the audio only format, just like a podcast. But some people, I understand, do prefer the podcast format because it's more convenient to access the audio only. But yeah, I guess I can make Hunt Camp Mail into a podcast as well and download it separately as a podcast. So you can listen to it by accessing, I guess, the YouTube Music app. But in the end, it's just as easy to play the video and listen to the audio. And, I just don't think that producing a podcast separately is really worth the effort for me at this time. And our last question is from John in Australia. And I just want to say, I get so much viewership and support from my viewers in Australia and New Zealand. And I'm just extremely thankful for your viewership. John wrote, have you ever thought about bringing a guest, a hunting guide, other international hunter, etc., On to an episode of Hunt Camp Mail to answer questions from viewers. You know, I guess I've always kind of been like Rush Limbaugh. Rush really didn't like having guests because he didn't think that guests improved the quality of his show, but he knew that guests could potentially reduce the quality of his show, so he rarely had them. But on a limited basis, I probably could get an expert guest or two to answer some of your questions that you have on Hunt Camp Mail, even if they do it remotely. I'll definitely consider your request, John, and maybe it's a good idea to change things up a little bit too. Well, that does it for all the questions this month. But please stay tuned because I have a lot more in store this evening, including a Desert Dog Outdoors trivia giveaway. As I stated earlier, though, instead of memes for this month, I'm going to show you all 50 Hunt Camp Mail thumbnails. Enjoy. Well, I promised you a giveaway, and I'm about to do it. This is going to be done in my traditional trivia format that you're used to if you've been a fan of this channel for a long time. I'll ask you 3 questions at the same time. We'll actually post them all together. And you'll take a screenshot or a picture of those questions because you'll have to do some research after you get those. And you'll have to send all of your answers to desertdogoutdoors@gmail.com. And the first 4 people to answer all the questions correctly will get a prize. The first person to answer all 3 questions correctly will get a brand new Night Force SHV 3 to 10 by 42 scope with the Forceplex reticle. And the next 3 winners will get a Desert Dog Outdoors swag pack, which includes these awesome safari shirts, along with some other cool gear. So get ready to take a screenshot of the questions. I'm going to show them to you right now. Okay, start emailing those answers to desertdogoutdoors@gmail.com. Remember, if you try to post answers in the video comment section, they will be deleted. Your answers must be sent to me by email. So while you guys are frantically scrambling around my YouTube channel trying to get the answers to the questions, I'll go ahead and review some of the gifts that we're going to be giving away during this episode trivia. The first winner is going to get this awesome Night Force SHV 3 to 10 by 42 hunting scope with an illuminated reticle. And these things are just absolute tanks. They're way tougher than any Leupold or Swarovski scope you're ever going to buy. And these are probably the best thing you could put on a really hard-use hunting rifle. And the safari shirts that I'm giving out are really super high-quality proper shirts, just loaded with features. And these are the perfect cotton poly blend that allows the shirt to breathe and be tear-resistant, but it can still be ironed with hot coals while you're camping in the Zambezi Valley. Of course, they also bear the Desert Dog Outdoors logo on them, which is definitely going to improve your awesomeness and your status with the ladies. I'll also throw in some Desert Dog Outdoor koozies and stickers, which are virtually guaranteed to make your loads shoot faster. It might even make your 7 PRC shoot to the advertised velocity. So get those answers in so I can give some stuff away, damn it. Just remember, after you submit your answers, I'll tell you if you won or not by email. When the contest is over, I'll pin a comment at the top of the comment section, letting everybody know that the contest is officially over. Remember that subscribing to my channel is totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's kind of what keeps this channel going. But I want to thank everybody, especially those of you who subscribe to my channel, for sticking with me for all these years. You guys are the best. It isn't always easy spending several nights every month going through my mail and putting together an hour-long monthly episode every single month. And that's in addition to producing my normal content while I work 50 hours a week. But you know what? I think all of you are worth it. Well, that ends the 50th episode special. I hope you enjoyed the walk down memory lane and learned to appreciate some of the crazy stuff that happens on my channel. You can reach me with any questions or comments at desertdogoutdoors@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and as always, good hunting.